In an emotional encounter, President Donald Trump welcomed 8 released Israeli hostages into the Oval Office. Take a look.
You were our hope when we were there, and now you're their hope.
Yeah. So you didn't think until I came along, you didn't think you were going to get out?
No. Once you were elected, we heard that you want to do everything to make a deal as soon as possible, and
you're so happy.
Yeah. Well, we said you better let us have those people back.
Yeah.
You better let them out. We did say that, and something happened, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Now we got to get the rest out.
Please do it again.
Yes. Thank you all. We're working on it very hard.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. You take care. We'll do the best we can.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. You take care of yourself. Horrible stories. Not even believable.
thank you.
We'll get them out. We'll get them out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You take care of yourself, okay? Thank you. Take care. You got a good future.
I'm joined now by CBN's Billy Hallowell. Billy, what'd you think?
Yeah, I got to tell you, watching those hostages, first of all, it's remarkable that they're standing there, right? That they were released. And we know there are still others soon, hopefully, to be released that have been suffering in captivity. But to see them there, it's such a powerful sight. But to hear them speak and to say, I mean, that one comment, you know, my family and I, we believe you were sent by God. That is a very strong statement, probably one of the strongest statements somebody could make. And it really, regardless of whether or not people believe that, it really felt like they believe that. It felt like they feel Trump and Trump's arrival back in the White House offers them a sort of hope that they couldn't have previously imagined. And that really stuck out to me.
Well, you know, I think this all comes on the heels of what Trump posted on Truth Social. Here's just a clip of it. I think it's important for me to read it verbatim. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I am sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I have just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. Billy, what do you make of that statement by President Trump?
Well, first of all, it's an incredibly strong statement. I think we've come out of an era where you had a previous administration, much like many others, you know, with the Biden administration, where you're trying to toe the line. You don't want to be offensive. You don't want to upset one side or the other. You're looking at a sensitive situation and you're taking a position in support of Israel, but you kind of have all these caveats, right? That's what we're coming out of. And now we're in a very clear situation where the president is saying, this is evil. You're twisted. This is wrong. And I will destroy you if you don't do what I'm telling you to do, which is the right thing. That's not normal in politics. You don't often see that. And so I think if I'm Hamas and I'm looking at Trump and his track record and his rhetoric and the things that he's said and done, and the fact that right now he is basically decimating portions of the government, in his view, to make it stronger and better, you're thinking, oh no, is he going to make good on this? So I actually think it comes with a strength that we rarely see in politics. So to me, that is remarkable. I don't know what you think.
Well, I think, you know, having been over there dozens of times, one thing that you always hear that is kind of weird for a Western audience to hear, but what is valued there? What is political currency when dealing with foes, with dealing with people that hate each other? It's not niceties. It's not compassion. It's not empathy. It's not fun words. It's strength. People value strength. People will move and make decisions and do things based off a projection of strength. So completely apolitically here. This is not a political statement. Statements like that by Donald Trump are taken seriously, in my opinion, by folks like Hamas. So I think it's really the language that is actually digested that might actually change things. Now, what that actually looks like, obviously keep it here on CBN News, because we are constantly in contact with our friends over in Israel to see what that might look like, what a quote unquote reinvasion of Gaza would actually accomplish, you know, what would happen with the remaining hostages. All of that is to be determined, but it seems like Trump is very serious, and this meeting in the Oval Office it appeared to really impact him emotionally. So, Billy, I'll give you the last word. Where do you see this going?
I think that you're going to see continued words of strength, from Trump. And let's remember too, he's also defending Israel much more, boisterously. He's saying, I'm going to defend Israel. He's doing that. I think my point is there's no question about where he stands on this. He's being very clear. I don't think there was clarity. It wasn't as clear before. And when there's not clarity, to your point, that the reaction from that other side, especially terrorists, is going to be to seize the moment and take advantage of that lack of clarity. And I'll tell you one more thing before we go, because this story sticks with me. Before Trump was president, going back to, I want to say this is 2014, before he ever ran for president the first time, when you and I were working at another outlet, The Blaze, I was sent to Trump Tower. I interviewed Trump, and the focus of that interview, and this is really important to this discussion, was Saeed Abedini, who was a pastor, an American pastor who was held captive in Iran. And at the time, Trump was vocally criticizing Obama for Obama's handling of that, not getting him home quickly enough. And I've often gone back to that because whatever people want to say about any candidate, any politician, Trump has consistently cared about these issues of people being held captive, particularly when it comes to their faith, which is what was happening in that situation. And so he was very, very strong on that. And it's interesting years later to watch him as president now being strong on this very same issue.